See.
Thank you.
Thank you. Put that, there you go. Good girl.
Would you say that you and Master Chief are kind of like similar?
Would I say that me and Master Chief are alike? Well, I think we bear a certain resemblance. No? You know, in a part of the thrill for me doing this is it does in a lot of ways fulfill a boyhood fantasy. I mean, who doesn't sort of fantasize, you know, inhabiting a character like Master Chief, or, you know, back in the old days, you know, Superman or Batman, or, I mean, part of when you're growing up as a kid and you're watching these things, you put yourself, you know, with that cape or that mask or whatever. So here I am as an adult, you know, all of a sudden really honestly being able to sort of, you know, live in that fantasy world for the time that we do it. So, I mean, I don't know. I hesitate because it sounds egotistical to say, well, yeah, me and Master Chief are alike. I mean, first of all, he's a fictional. He's not real. Hope that wasn't a spoiler alert for anybody, but you have to sort of tap into his emotion, and any actor portraying any role, unless you're portraying yourself, you have to draw on your own personal experiences when you're trying to figure out who this person is, who this character is. So, you know, I mean, that's all I have to draw from is myself. So they give me the lines, and they can tell me what's going on as I'm reading them, but at some point I have to draw from some personal emotion to make that sound real. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense, I mean, let's put it this way: I do identify with him. I identify with Master Chief, and I empathize with him, and I think he's just one heck of a guy. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Hello.
Nice hair.
Thank you. We met earlier. Shampoo.
Shampoo, right? Yeah.
Okay. Question. It's gonna link to this, but you know, Master Chief has other friends other than Cortana, Dr. Halsey. He has other Spartan 2s like Kelly, Linda, Fred, Sam, never forget. Yeah, I read the books so much. If they were to ever come in the games, would you want anybody that you know to voice them?
Oh. Anybody that
Or like even voice actors that you know that are well known to us, like would you want them to voice act as them?
You don't mean like celebrity voiceovers, do you?
Celebrities?
That's a dirty word.
Or even people you know that you would say?
No, I can't. No, I mean, to be honest with you, I can't really think of. You know, I think the casting that they did, you know, for the Halo characters is. I mean, I can't think of anybody that wasn't great. The guy who does Guilty Spark in Halo 1, 2, and 3, Tim Dadabo, is a good friend of mine, and you know, he sort of came out of that Chicago group of people that were involved in Halo 1 a lot, and then to a lesser degree in Halo 2 and 3 and 4. But I think he does a fantastic job of Guilty Spark. And you know, somebody asked earlier a favorite moment. One of my favorite moments was when I got to kill that little bugger for the. I got to say that was particularly satisfying on a number of levels. But he's a great voice actor, and you know, I really think I can't think of any. You know, I couldn't think of anybody who's not doing that role that maybe somebody else should have done it. Nobody comes to mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Think about some conditioner. I'm just throwing it out there.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Nice meeting you. Been a huge fan the whole time. My friends and I are wondering, after you're done with this, are you going to a bar by any chance? Because if you are, we want to buy you a round of drinks. And if you're...
You know, the last time I accepted an offer like that, it didn't turn out well.
Let's do it again. Okay, my other question is, I know you're the franchise of Halo, the voice of Halo. Do you ever play multiplayer yourself? And if you are, what's the highest rank you've ever been in, like, Halo 4?
The very highest?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can think.
And tell me
Well, let me tell you a story. The very first time I ever went to a Halo convention was after Halo 2. And I had been asked on several occasions, and I'd always, for various reasons, declined the offer. But this one guy asked me to come down. It was going to be in Florida. It was going to be in the wintertime, and I was in Chicago. And I was like, okay, I'll go. But I said I have two conditions. Number one, I don't dress up as the character. And number two, I don't play the game. So don't ask me to play the game because it's not pretty. So he said, fine. So we go down to do the thing, and of course, he has a contest, unbeknownst to me, the winner of which gets to play me in Halo. So I said, what did I tell you? This is not good. He said, don't worry about it. We've set it on the Juggernaut setting. So basically, all you have to do is have the controller in your hand and hit buttons, and nobody can kill you. I was like, okay. So they have the contest. The winner of the contest is an 11-year-old girl. I think you know where this is going. So sure enough, she comes up, and we're going to play Halo. I lasted 15 seconds until she killed me. And you have never been more humbled than to have an 11-year-old girl look up at you and go, really?
Thanks to you.
And I immediately went to WC Field. Get out of here, kid. You bother me. Go on. Go play in traffic. So, no, I don't. It's not my... I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I don't know what it is that I don't possess. I have tried. I have sat down with an Xbox, with a game, and said, okay, I'm going to figure this damn thing out. And I think it's in Halo 2. I couldn't get Master Chief out of the room. I mean, it looks like some stupid Laurel and Hardy cartoon. I'm just bouncing into things. Until my stepson at the time grabbed the controller away from me and told me to go upstairs and cut the grass or something. So no, I don't. It's not my. I have the highest admiration for you guys who just. It's incredible to watch, but I have no skill for it whatsoever.
Thank you.
Hey Steve.
Hi.
Just want to say big honor to finally meet you. Ever since I was a little kid, always looked up to you. But instead of asking a question about Master Chief, you said previously you are a radio host.
Yes.
Like, how did you get into that? Like, how did you...
Into radio?
Yeah, how did you do that?
Well, it really was a result of music. Growing up as a kid, I just loved rock and roll, and I played in rock bands. All of my young life from the time I was about 10 years old. Yeah. All through grade school, all through high school, all through college, I was always in a band of one sort or another. And it got to some point where the band that I was in college was not bad. We had some promise, and it got to a point where we were going to have to decide: do we want to really make a career out of this? And I was the drummer at the time. And has anybody ever seen the movie Spinal Tap? Well, it usually doesn't end well for the drummer. Why is it that the drummer always gets the shit at the end? So I had to make a decision at that point that maybe being a drummer in a rock band might not be the most secure career move. So I got into radio, and I thought that would be, sort of the next best thing to staying close to the music, which was my passion, and maybe still actually, have a job. and I sort of visioned myself as like a record producer or kind of behind the scenes guy. Anyway, long story short, I loved being on the air. I loved radio. I mean, the ham in me just would not let it go, and I stuck with it, you know, and it's all I've ever done all of my life. And from that came voiceover. And primarily when I lived in Los Angeles, I got into commercial voiceover and fell in love with that. And so I, you know, voiced commercials from time to time, radio and television and whatnot. And that led eventually to the gaming part of it. So that's sort of the timeline of it started, you know, me being Master Chief started with being a drummer. So if you can follow that line, that's how that started. But that's my passion, and I've done it all my life, and I do it to this day. I host a show in Chicago that is the #1 rock show in Chicago. I don't mind telling you. Thank you. Proud of that. And you can listen to it online at WDRV.com anytime you like. That is if you like Led Zeppelin. If you don't like Led Zeppelin, I can't help you, but...
Last question. What's your favorite rock and roll band?
My favorite rock and roll band?
Yeah.
That's always a hard question. I mean, Zeppelin is right up there. Yeah, you know, I don't know that it gets really any better than that. And I think you know, in terms of hard rock anyway, they are the gold standard. And I don't think anybody has surpassed them to this day. And that's just me, but I just don't think it got any better than that from a songwriting standpoint and a production standpoint and a stage presence standpoint. I just don't think it gets any better than that. So they're right up there. And of course the Beatles and the Stones and, you know, all the usual suspects. But, you know, I like it all. Who's your favorite?
Oh, Boston.
Boston?
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Boston.
Thanks.
Can't go wrong.
Keep rocking on, Steve.
Thank you.
Hi there, Mr. Downs.
Hi there.
I have one question. Halo is going to be around for the foreseeable future. I was wondering if you still have any interest of being Master Chief for the foreseeable future, or do you have any plans on moving on eventually?
Do I have plans on moving on? Not as long as they'll have me. I mean, it's, you know, the thing about voicing a character, you know, is that, you know, the actual work that I do only comes around every 3 years, and then like in the case of Halo 4, it lasted March, April, May, June. It lasted 4 months, and that's it. That's the only actual time I'm inhabiting the character, and then I'm watching it like the rest of you from that point on. So we got done doing Halo 4. I got done doing, the last thing I did was in June of 2012. The game came out in the following November, and that's the last actual time I've gotten to, you know, sort of put on the armor, if you will. So here